Good morning, I'm Perrin Alford, the Provost of West Georgia Technical College here in LaGrange. Welcome to another edition of Technically Speaking. This morning we'll be talking to Gary Perry. Gary is the CIS instructor here at the college, and we'll let Gary tell us all about his program and all the nuances associated with his program, what kind of courses you're going to have to get through once you complete the coursework. Are there job opportunities out there? And then also we'll talk a little bit about what kind of money is associated with the CIS program. Before we get started with Mr. Perry, let me briefly say this, that West Georgia Technical College is currently in our fall semester, so it's too late to do anything for fall semester. But winter semester is right around the corner. Winter semester will start in January. So very easy to get in West Georgia Technical College. You have to do several things. You have to fill out an application form first, pay a $25 application fee. That's a one-time fee, so if you pay it this year and you come back to school 3 or 4 years from now, you've already paid that fee. It's a one-time fee. You'll have to get us copies of your high school transcripts and any college transcripts. The reason we do that is if you've already taken coursework, completed coursework, we certainly don't want you to redo and repay for work you've already completed. Next, you'll have to take a placement exam at the college, and this is only used to help you. If you are weak in an area, we want to help you by giving you some extra coursework to bump up your skills so that when you get in your program, you're ready to go and you won't have any problems. I think that's it. Application, $25 fee, get us copies of your transcripts, and come to the college and take the placement exam. So winter quarter begins in January. So call us at 706-845-4323, or you can always get us on the web, www.westgatech, and that's spelled WESTGATECH.edu. So telephone 706-845-4323, or the web, www.westgatech.edu. Give us a call, get us on the web, and let's get started to help you get in school winter semester. Okay? I've said all the stuff I need to say to recruit. So now we will get to our guest this morning, Gary Perry, the instructor for the CIS program at the college. So first off, what does CIS stand for, Gary?
Computer Information Systems.
Okay, Computer Information Systems. Okay. Now, tell us a little bit about Gary. I always like to ask our guests before they get started, pretend a student just walked in your classroom. Potential student you've never met before, and they sit down and they say, I want to know about you. I want to know, what's your background? Why should I come to you? How do you have expertise? So give us a little history of Gary, where you came from, how long you been in the business, how long you been at West Georgia Tech, and we'll go from there.
Well, I started in computers in the days of key punch cards, the old mainframes that took up an entire room. I spent 35 years in the industry before I started teaching computers 12 years ago. Okay,
now let me jump in right there, because every time I have an instructor on and they say kind of that same thing, I was in industry for many years. I love to tell our audience that is one of the fantastic reasons that technical college is so good. If you attend a 4-year baccalaureate and earn a baccalaureate degree, a lot of times you'll be talking to PhDs or EDDs, and they really usually, not all the time, but usually have not spent that much time in industry actually doing what they're teaching. They've just read the books, they've taken the tests, they've completed all the papers and all that. So very, very interesting point that really differentiates the technical college from a 4-year college degree, in that you've actually been there. You've been in the industry.
Yes, sir.
You've done it hands-on. And so I think that translates to the student that you really know what you're talking about. One, you've actually been there. You've dealt with the industry issues. And so all of that combined, we feel in technical education really gives our student a very unique total package of instruction that really prepares them for a job. So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but every time I'm talking to an instructor, I love to really hone in on that because I think that's so important and makes us different. Okay, go ahead.
Well, speaking to that, I spent 11 years with IBM before I went to work for Eastman Kodak for 9 years.
Okay, and IBM's a pretty big company, right, when it comes with computers?
I was actually with IBM at the time that Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were there writing the disk operating system, DOS, for PCs. I never met them, but I was there, and you know, all the scuttlebutt and everything that goes around. So I've been in the industry for, like I say, 35 years before I ever started teaching 12 years ago. Pretty varied background.
And so what did you do at IBM specifically? Were you a programmer? Were you a coder?
Customer service.
Okay.
I actually went out and serviced hands-on started with typewriters, copiers, machines like that, and then when they came out with the PC in 1985, I started working on PCs and got into, I was programming before that, but it was a sideline, not actually professional programming. It wasn't until I left Kodak that I started actually professionally programming.
And what did you do at Kodak? Because that's another small company.
I was an Apple authorized service rep. Kodak picked up the contract for Apple service nationwide to service warranty products. And I spent 9 years servicing Apple computers. Went all over the state of Georgia servicing the Apple computers, including the Hallmark greeting card machines that you used to see in the Walmarts and Kmarts and such. Wax printers, they used actually wax printers that sort of like crayons that you melted and sprayed onto the paper to create those cards that you got, the greeting cards. Very interesting technology. The technology is fascinating. So then when I left there, I went back to school, finished my degree. I took a 20-year break in my bachelor's degree. And
that's a little unusual as well. I'm sure that's another interesting story, but that's not the normal path to get a 4-year degree.
I started back in the 70s getting my degree, and back then it was data processing. They didn't even have information technology. It was data processing. I dropped out my senior year because I had a career with IBM. Didn't intend to do anything else. But I left there and I went back to school when I left Kodak, finished my bachelor's degree. I went on and I got my master's degree online through University of Phoenix in information systems. My bachelor's degree is in computer science. My information systems master's degree, and now I'm working on my PhD in applied computer science. I'm actually ABD, all but dissertation, and I'm writing my dissertation in cybersecurity. Yeah,
wow, you poor soul. I'm going through that same excruciating process, so
it's rough.
I feel your pain. So it sounds like you've got a varied kind of background with several different companies. So you did all of that, and you went back to college. And how long had you been at before you went back to your
20 years.
Okay, now I think another interesting point that I love to always touch on when I talk to my instructors, because almost every instructor I talk to has a very unique story, but very similar to yours. And I've been in this business 20 years. Our students, by and large, now they don't wait 20 years to come back to West Georgia Tech.
Some of them do.
But some do. But again, something that's very unique for the folks who are watching the show this morning is that if you're one of those that have been out of school for 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or like Gary here, 20 years, is it ever too late to go back to school?
Never, ever. Education is an investment in you, and you can never lose money. You never lose money on an education, ever.
So even though you had a pretty good career going, you're making some good money, even after 20 years, you decided to go back to college. So I'm going to assume that when you have students come in, and I assume this is several of your students will have come to you and said, I don't think I can do it. You know, I've been out 10 years. I don't think I'm smart enough, or I don't think I can do the work. What would you say to that student?
I'd say I've been out, I was out 20 years, and I went back and not only finished my bachelor's degree, but went on and got my master's, and I wouldn't say all that close, but I'm finishing up my PhD. Right. It's going to take a while to write that dissertation.
Right. Well, so very interesting. And again, I just want to reiterate one more time what a unique place West Georgia Technical College is. If you're one of those that's unemployed, and I know that's an issue right now with our economy, if you're underemployed, if you're just one of those that doesn't really like the job that you're doing, and there's some folks out there in that boat.
Very much so.
You really need to consider, as Gary did, coming back to school. You need to seriously consider West Georgia Technical College. We have programs from anywhere from accounting on one end of the spectrum. We have automotive technology, industrial maintenance, electronics, computer,
air conditioning.
Air conditioning. So we still have all of those hands-on technical kind of programs, but we've also kind of morphed or changed a little bit over the last 10 years into CIS programs. We still have a lot of healthcare programs, LPN, RN, phlebotomy, all kind of healthcare programs. Those business programs, like I've already said, accounting, business office technology, where we teach you to be office assistants and work in doctor's offices or in the business world. So West Georgia Tech has a lot to offer to a lot of folks. So this morning, if you're out there watching and you're fit one of those categories, unemployed, underemployed, just don't like the job you're doing, consider West Georgia Technical College. Still absolutely the best education value in Georgia. $75 per credit hour. Nobody close to that number. So we still have the Hope Grant. Sometimes people talk about the Hope Grant that it's gone away. That's not true. Still have the Hope Grant, still have the Hope Scholarship. There's Pell money available. There's loans now at West Georgia Tech that we can help you get. So never a reason not to come back to college. As we say at West Georgia Tech, you have to learn more to earn more, and that's a fact. So give us a call. Let us know how we can help you at West Georgia Tech, and we'll be right back to continue our conversation with Gary Perry, our CIS instructor.
You've got that ideal career in mind. Well, West Georgia Technical College specializes in preparing you for great careers. Call today and find out how we can help you fit education into your busy lifestyle. You've got that ideal career in mind. Well, West Georgia Technical College specializes in preparing you for great careers. Call today and find out how we can help you fit education into your busy lifestyle.
Welcome back to Technically Speaking. I'm Perrin Alford, the Provost of West Georgia Technical College. This morning we're talking to our Computer Information Systems, or CIS, as we call it at the college, instructor, Mr. Gary Perry. Gary, as we transition into our second segment here, let's talk a little bit more about the specifics of your program and what kind of coursework is involved, what type of awards do you have, certificate, diploma, associate degree. Are there jobs out there available for these folks? What kind of money that in general that is out there waiting on these folks? And let's just give the folks a little bit more specifics about your program. So start off, tell us about your program and the awards that you offer.
The program has a diploma or has 2 diplomas and 2 associate's degrees. One is in networking, which is primarily for maintaining the networks, the systems administration, that kind of thing. The other program is computer support specialist, which is more along the lines of programming and such, has a little more of programming, project management, things like that. As far as jobs go, I have a very good relationship with various businesses in LaGrange, and so far in the last 4 years, every student that has wanted a job has gotten placed usually before they graduate.
Okay.
These are entry-level jobs, so you are kind of starting over, but the money is still good. The earning potential is pretty basically unlimited. It's nothing unusual to get a couple of years experience and be making $40,000-$50,000 a year,
Right.
especially if you add some certifications on top of that. There's a number of certifications, industry certifications, and each certification that you add to your portfolio adds more money to your paycheck.
Okay, now years ago, this is going to show you how old
Okay.
Mr. Alford is and how long I've been in technical education. But I can remember years and years ago that there was a big push that everybody had to be like, and I think it was called Microsoft certified, and there was A+ certification, an A++ certificate, all kind of stuff like that. Is that still pretty
Oh,
much
yes.
industry standard?
All of our classes are oriented towards a particular industry certification. You start with A+, which is your PC hardware maintenance type thing. A+, which is 2 courses, operating systems and hardware, PC hardware. Then there's Net+, which is networking. Then there's Linux+, which you don't see a lot of Linux+ right now. It's open source software, and it's really the growing thing in the industry. But then you've also got Security+, which is a very difficult certification to attain. So far, I've had 3 students from my Security+ classes go down and take their Security+ certification, and all 3 passed.
And now, that's interesting to me. What does that mean, security? When I think of security, is this like making the system secure, or what does that mean exactly?
Anything having to do with computers. My specialty in my PhD is cybersecurity, but security is keeping the wrong people out of your computer systems, making sure that the people that are supposed to be able to get in there can get in there. Basically, if you've heard of cyber terrorism,
Oh, yeah.
the Stuxnet worm not too long ago that tore up Iran's nuclear capabilities, they don't know where that came from, but that's an example of cyber terrorism. We look at things like that. There's hacker groups out there called Anonymous for one, Lulz for another. We study their techniques, how they get into systems. Hackers typically use social engineering. They actually pick up the phone and they call you and they say, "Can I have your password and username?" Believe it or not, more people than not will actually give you their username and password.
That's interesting.
That's social engineering.
Okay.
We study all of that in the Security+ class. The Security+ certification, industry recommends that you have 2 years of experience before you sit for that exam. All of my students so far, those 3 that I mentioned that sat for the exam, they had no experience at all. They went through our class, they finished the class, went down and took the exam and passed it. So far, I have not had a single student that took a certification exam that did not pass.
Okay.
These are industry certifications. They're not local. These are recognized worldwide.
So this
A+.
is above the
Yes.
associate degree
Yes.
at West Georgia Tech. They
Yes.
would have a CAS
Yes.
associate degree. And do they specialize in networking or programming, or is it just a generalized associate degree?
The program is very generalized. This gives you a broad-based education. You get networking, security, hardware, software, systems administration. We do actually set up servers and load the software and get all of the, you actually sit there with hands-on working on servers.
Interesting.
And
So again, very hands-on.
oh, definitely.
You read the book, but you also do it. You take the computer apart and put it back together. And
Yes, you do. Well, hands-on is kind of a misnomer. You're not going to take an engine apart and put it back together like you would in automotive mechanics.
Right.
About 99% of IT is based on what you know, is still knowledge.
Right.
But in order to fix the computers, in order to fix those those security systems, those networks and such, you have to know how they operate. Because you can't sit there and watch a computer move the electrons through the different parts of it. So you have to think, what is it doing because it's doing this?
Right.
So it's very, very intense intellectually, very intense. But there's opportunities. I mean, think about this. You got that cell phone in your pocket. The tablets are very big right now. We do spend some time working with tablets as much as we can based on the resources.
And these are iPads, is that correct? That's what tablet,
that's one
is that
of
what
them.
you're talking?
That's the Apple version.
Right.
That
There's
actually,
others. Right.
but there's also the Android-based tablets like the Galaxy Tab. Google has just come out with the Nexus 7. We do get into all of that, and you get a very broad-based education. You build a good foundation so that when you decide what you want to be when you grow up,
right.
You can move on into specialize into programming, systems administration, networking, hardware and software, whatever you choose to do later on. This is the entry level, the beginning.
And do you see computers decreasing in the world we live in, or do you see computers increasing?
No, there is no way in the world that computers are ever going to decrease.
We're not going back, are we?
No. Technology has made our life so much better. They've got, just look at the nursing field, how much they are actually using. I've heard that doctors are using iPads in surgery.
Right.
The other day when I was in my doctor's office, he was asking me about, he was carrying around a laptop trying to enter information, and he was asking me, what should I get? Tablet, you know, a laptop, should I get an iPad? Should I get a Galaxy Tab? What do you think I ought to get?
Right.
And I recommended to him an iPad.
Right. But we're not endorsing that product.
No, we're not.
I understand.
I recommend the product based on the customer's needs.
Right.
I'm very customer oriented. We do a lot of work ethics training at the school because that's what businesses are looking for. They're looking for people that can fit into their environment.
Right.
One of the reasons I have a good relationship with the businesses that I deal with is that I send them students that fit with their environment. And so far, like I say, every student that has wanted a job has found one.
And so how long does it take to start the program and complete the program?
An associate's degree is 2 years.
Okay.
So
And is there a diploma?
yes, there's a diploma that fits in before you get to the associate's degree, but if you go ahead and start with a diploma, you can take the entire diploma and then switch to the associate's degree and finish up with an associate's degree.
Right.
All of the programs are designed so that they all dovetail together. You don't waste any time taking courses that you don't need.
Correct.
We paired the program down to where everything is essential.
Right.
We don't waste your time.
Okay. Important question as we're about to close up here. If somebody comes to an institution of higher learning, they're coming not because they love Gary or Perrin, but they're coming because they're going to do the hard work and they're going to get a job when they leave. Are there jobs in this field available?
Oh, goodness. Yes, sir. There's more jobs. I read just the other day that there's over 300,000 jobs because they can't find skilled people to fit those jobs.
Right.
Their systems administration, I believe, if I remember correctly, 300,000 unfilled positions because they can't find people to do the job.
Right.
It is very highly technical. You're going to work, and you're going to work very hard, especially in my classes. Because I'm not going to send a student out to an employer unless they know what they're doing.
Right.
We have lab simulations, we have hands-on, we have the theory. They have to do all of it. There's no shortcuts.
Well, as we close, I love talking to my instructors. Again, great opportunities out there. There are jobs available today. So all the talk we continually hear about there's no jobs, that's just not true. There are a bunch of jobs out there, but you have to be trained and have to have the skills that fit the jobs that are out there. The technical college is the place you need to come and get those skills. We've spoken to Gary Perry this morning, our CAS instructor. A great opportunity out there for those folks who love computers, love taking them apart, putting them back together. That's not me. That's not my thing. But I know there's a lot of folks out there like Mr. Perry here who love that kind of stuff. So if you're out there this morning, unemployed, underemployed, looking to change jobs, and you've always wanted to get into the computer information systems area and become network administrators or work with IT systems, man, do we have the program and the instructor for you. So you can contact us at 706-845-4323, or you can always get us via the web, www.westgatech.edu. Call us today and let's work together as a team to help you get the skills you need to get that high-paying job. Thanks for watching.